Hi, this is Sherry Veronica. I'd like to know the name of the magistrate. Imagine writing a whole article talking about the magistrate talking down to someone that was in his court, or using language that is restricted in so many ways. Not restricted from the point that you may not be able to say it when you're out and about, with your friends or whatever, but to say the B word to a guy when he's in your court, and the fact that the guy is saying, I'm not part of that community, but I do have friends who are in that, LBGT, community, but I'm not in that community. And then for you to say, well, if he's hanging with people like that, that he should not expect that his mother or maybe the public at large are not going to think that he is that too. So yes, people say, you are your friends, and people say you are what you eat. There are certain slogans that people say, but when you are in court, when you are in an area where your words are recorded and there are court reporters in there, and people are going to hear you using, like, the slur is a slur, the word, it's so there's certain words that a professional should not use. But I've heard people saying that magistrates use words and behave in that way all the time. So them complain to Ian Weeks. Why are you complaining to Ian Weeks? Yes, he's the chief magistrate, but still, he acts up in his courtroom. From what I'm hearing, he acts up also, and they complain to the old guy that's leaving. Why complain to him? He's on his way out. He is on his way out, okay? And people would say that he wasn't even working. He wasn't doing much of anything. So you think he's going to be sitting in on anything to make a decision on a magistrate? He's probably thinking that's below him. But yeah, this guy is saying that he wrote letters and no answer. And then the attorneys chimed in and said, well, there are really no guidelines on what the magistrates can and cannot do. They have like carte blanche, so that means that you need to shore up that area of your courtroom. You need to put some rules and restrictions and regulations on the magistrates, just like how they want to use rules and regulations on people who come before them. It should be on them too, okay? So who is this magistrate? Who is the magistrate that used the B word against someone that was before him, that actually told him, I'm not part of that community? Who is the magistrate? And they're saying he, so it's a male, okay? It's a male. And a lot of times people behave in a way, and if you were to put a camera in their house, or if you were to be like what they say, a fly on the wall, you'll be seeing a whole lot of mess and a whole lot of different scenarios playing out. So sometimes people project and they act as though, they're not one thing, but they are privately. So you got to be always aware of that sort of thing, especially in the confines of a courtroom. Okay, in the courtroom, the magistrate or the judge or justice should comport or behave in a way that is so respectable that when the person who's before them, when they leave, they cannot, even if the outcome was adverse to the person, they cannot but say, I think he tried to be fair. I think he was fair. Well, he seemed pretty, decent and, whatever. But that should be said when you leave your courtrooms, okay? Not that someone is talking and using slurs and using, like disrespectful language and that kind of stuff. That should not be happening in your courtrooms. It should not be happening in your courtrooms. So okay, long talk, done. Who's the magistrate that this guy's complaining about, that the nation cannot write his name? Because I read the article and I didn't see no name. So who is the magistrate? If you have a copy, a photo, send that to me too, because a lot of the magistrates in Barbados, Could you imagine being paid by taxpayers and there's no photo of you online at all? Probably the only time you will see a photo and a blurry one and one from Wales when, you know, Sandra Mason is like, you know, doing her duties and they're signing paperwork to say, well, I'm a magistrate or I'm moving out from that and becoming a high court judge or whatever. That's the only time you see them. But all of this should be online. All of this should be online. If they're being paid by taxpayers' money, you should have access to them online so you can see, pull them up, see how much they're making and blah, blah, their education, where they went to school. All of that should be online. It should be public because they are public servants, okay? This is Sherry Veronica.